Hi, my name is Amy Becker. I'm a board member of CAT, and we're bringing you the next interview in our series, Women in Construction. And we are very lucky today to have Heather Svahn with us of Mountain Hardware to share a little bit about her experience. So, hi. Thanks so much for taking the time to do the interview with us.
Of course, I was very excited to be included.
Oh,
this is great.
Good,
It's a great segment you guys are providing.
Oh, good. Yeah, we need to let everybody know it's not just a man's field.
and it definitely is not.
Yeah. So, can you start by just sharing a little bit about what your journey has been with Mountain Hardware?
Sure. I first came out to Truckee after college. I'm from Maryland, and in 1998. So during college, my husband, now boyfriend at the time, we came out for spring break, and his parents, they have a home in Taladonner. They said, you have to go to this cool hardware store. And I'm a college student on spring break, and I was like, hardware? I did not come to California to see a hardware store on my spring break. And little did I know that several years later I'd be moving to Truckee, and it was a much smaller town, thinking, well, where am I going to get started? How am I going to get my foot in the door somewhere? And that hardware store that in college was, really, I have to visit that during spring break, is where I ended up.
They just had a sense.
Yeah. I didn't realize my in-laws were planting that seed, but there we are. So I've been fortunate to be with a great company that from the beginning, when we were that one location with Greg, Dane, and Howard steering the ship, just being around great people and really feeling like I was part of the team. That stayed with me. So no matter how difficult days could be, it was just more important to be with people who were really invested in me.
Yeah.
And so I for a couple decades, I've been the buyer for the company. That transferred to overseeing marketing, merchandising as the vice president, and now as Doug Wright is transitioning from president and CEO, I've been fortunate to be the president now of Mountain Hardware and Sports.
Fantastic.
And so here we are.
And so that's fairly new?
Yes. So that began at the beginning of this year, January of 2024. 2024. So it's a fun, exciting position. We've got our 5 locations with retail stores and Truckee rents. It's always something happening.
You have 5 locations?
We do.
Wow.
We have the 2 in Truckee, the Incline Village hardware store, our store in Blairsden up by Grey Eagle.
Oh,
and
wow. I didn't realize you had those other 2 ones too.
Yeah. And Truckee Rents. All of them with, hopefully, this audience, you've probably been to at least one of those locations, and I can't speak more highly of the people in them and how much they care and they're invested. So it was an easy decision when asked if I'd be interested to be the president, just to think about representing and working hard for the people in the company. It was like, yeah, sure, of course.
What an amazing path to her. I mean, that's a really cool story, that how it all lined up. And I mean, you guys are such a core part of this community. And now having 2 locations, it's amazing.
Yeah. I think we knew for a long time that Donner Pass store, there's something special there. There's some great magic happening under that roof, but we couldn't reach all the members of the community. It's hard to get over from Sierra Meadows through downtown and North Star communities, and even reaching over to Kings Beach. So we just knew that there were areas that we could serve better, and when the opportunity to be with the Rayleighs development came about, it just felt right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so nice to have that location for the jobs that are over on that part of town.
For sure.
It's a big deal. Yeah, we're all very grateful. You have the two locations.
Yeah, because it can be an extra 30 minutes sometimes from that side of town.
Oh, totally.
To Donner Pass.
Absolutely.
And we understand. We understand that contractors, those in construction, you just don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
When your deadlines are coming fast.
Right.
And snow is on its way.
Well, and being the buyer too, like I am amazed at how much in the stores, how much you have that's like exactly what's needed. Like you guys have definitely gotten it down to where, because there are a lot of the things that, so it prevents us from having to go all the way to Reno, because you guys really do have it figured. You seem like you have it figured out pretty well.
I think it's twofold. We enjoy what we do. It's exciting. It's always changing. So there's lots of energy always coming in. But that other side of it, that's core to Mountain Hardware's, that we really listen to our customers.
Yeah.
So as much as our assortment has developed by us doing our hard work, it's equal to just listening to what people need and saying, well, we might not have it today, but I'm going to make sure next time you come in, I have it.
Yeah.
And when you see that as a customer, and you go, oh wow, they really did listen to me.
Yeah.
They brought that in. I don't need it today, but they brought that in. They really heard me.
Yeah.
That is really foundational to who we are.
Well, it
and
shows.
We'll
for
never
sure.
try to lose that.
Yeah.
That's something that is special.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And so how many years you've been there since?
1998.
98.
26 years.
Wow. Wow, that's so cool. You've definitely been here as Truckee has evolved.
Very much. I think about, I live out near Prosser, and just with the new rec center, which obviously is not even close to new anymore, and that used to just be one road headed out on 89. But now we've got roundabouts, and I think about just how even the landscape from my house to town has changed, and Mountain Hardware has really grown up in line with the town, and the founders established early on, like again, listening to customers, getting things they need or want. That it was we brought in North Face because enough people asked Dane Scott, one of the founders, for equipment. He was like, well, somebody in this town should carry equipment back in the 80s when there weren't that many options. So Mountain Hardware brought in the North Face. And that's how this has grown. And we just said, well, if the town needs it and we're here, we should figure it out.
Yeah.
So it's been a fun evolution for us with the town. We have similar challenges with all of the growth and changes, but it's been a fun ride with our team, and they're great. Can't say it enough. They're just great people.
Yeah. Oh, everyone in there is always just wonderful. Yeah. Always have a good experience.
It's good to hear.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
They try. We try.
And so, we're doing this series, Women in Construction, because we really want to make create a greater awareness that there are a lot of, not only is it a really important field for young people to go into, because we just don't have enough people in it.
Yes.
But also to show young girls, young women, that this isn't just a place for men, that there are a lot of different paths and ways that you can use your unique skills.
Yes.
So have you had any challenges through your time at Mountain Hardware being female, or?
Yeah. I thought there's always those anecdotal individual experiences that happen from time to time, day to day. The bigger issue was just like, here I am in college coming out for spring break, and my mother-in-law is, oh, we gotta go to this hardware store. And well, why would I want to go there? And I think that alludes to some of the challenge that without having a lot of mentors that look like us, that have the same daily responsibilities and issues outside of our jobs, we can't see ourselves in that role.
Right.
And so for those of us in it now, sharing our experiences, opening that mentorship up, and just setting the example where we can see ourselves, and younger generations can say, well, if they can do it, I can do it, or I can see myself there.
Right.
So I think, yeah, for me, at the time in town, where were you going to work? How many jobs were out here? There were a lot less businesses.
Yeah.
But there weren't that many women, even at Mountain Hardware.
Right.
I was fortunate to have Diane Jones. Howard Jones is another founder of the store, and his wife, Diane, had been a large portion of that development of the home decor buying and the patio furniture, the apparel and footwear. And so I didn't realize it at the time, but looking back on it and realizing I was lucky to have her example.
Yeah.
That I just fell into that job, and I didn't see myself there for 26 years.
Yeah.
I know at the time I didn't see myself there for 5.
Yeah. Right.
I was young and not thinking that far ahead. But I think it was the influence from her and some other women who did work at the store that
they saw a path for you.
Helped me find myself and say, you know what, this is worth being part of. So the more of us that can provide that opportunity to be mentors, and whether or not we're directly mentoring, but to just show people that you can look like us and do this too.
Yeah, and be the president.
Huge. Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And so one of the things we're trying to do too with Kat is we're starting to set up more programs with the schools to kind of introduce past, have them meeting more women in the field. And is there any specific advice you would give to like a high school age or someone in their, I mean really at any age, but in their younger part who's kind of like, I know this would be great, and up here in Truckee, trades are 70% of the industry.
Yes.
So there's a lot of focus on that. What would you recommend or suggest they do as they're starting to figure out where they might fit in?
Get out and try it. Whether or not you think you're interested, when you go to job fairs, stop at every booth. Talk to people. Whether or not you think you're interested, it may not be the work, it might be the culture that really connects. There's a lot of, that's why I stayed where I am at Mountain Hardware. I like these people. I love how they support me and make me feel good, and that I am a valued part of the team.
Right.
And that's what kept me, is that I felt I was contributing.
Yeah.
And they made me feel that way. So it's, whether or not you think it's an industry or a job style that may be suited for you, there's so many other aspects to it that walk those job fairs, meet each person at the booth, and just ask questions that are important to you. What is important to you? What hobbies do you enjoy that connect with that career path? Because so many of us, how many people, college degree or not, ended up in your career from what you thought you'd be doing when you were a teenager or your early 20s.
I think very few
we think
people.
We know that, and then we realize there's a lot of different things and different reasons for why we choose a different path. So I think just continuing to put yourself out there, which isn't always easy, but the more each of us does that, we realize it's also not that hard.
Right.
Put yourself out there, ask a couple questions, and use a platform like you guys are providing to really just open that conversation up and get the wheels turning for people.
Right.
And the young people in our community. It's such a trade work is such a demand area, and there's so much growth and opportunity there.
Right.
And it's a wonderful avenue for so many, and we need the youth growing up in Truckee to, whether you go off and come back or you can stay and work, we need you here. We need you to keep the history of the community and take it to the next generations and beyond.
Yeah, that's a really important point.
Yeah, because they know it. They grew up here and lived it.
Yeah, exactly.
And we don't want to lose that. We don't want to lose that core of who we are.
Right. And especially the kids who understand this community too, it's a big deal and have grown up learning to live here, because it's not the easiest place to live.
Yeah.
There are a lot of challenges. So if you already have a head start, if you've been here and you understand what it's like, and then it's really just finding a place where, like you said, the culture and everything makes sense for you.
Yeah, and there's just, the more I get to meet people in the community, and I've already been here several decades to know a lot of people, but the more and more I get to meet through this role and beyond, there's just so much to offer. And Mountain Hardware has been a great place for me to work. It's a great culture. I see it in action in so many other businesses in town. Yeah. There's a lot of things to be happy about and excited for. I think.
Yeah, that's very nice. I agree, absolutely. We just need to, it's just kind of also, I don't think that information, like you said, this is one of the first platforms where we're talking about this locally and trying to really bring this to the awareness, because we do need so many more young people coming into it. So it's so great to hear your path and how you started and have grown and just found a place where you fit, and that's probably made a big difference living here too, having that family at work.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. As I mentioned, my family's on the East Coast. The majority lives in Maryland, so this is a second family to me.
Yeah.
And it is just as important. I should bring up, I forgot to mention, one of our founders, Dane, had passed away suddenly in 2017. And Mountain Hardware, we started a scholarship fund in his honor. It's through the Community Foundation, but that's another place for the youth in the community to look, because we provide scholarships through that, not only for four-year colleges, but also for trade schools.
Oh, you do?
And so we have a couple of scholarships available annually for trade school work, because like you guys are pointing out, it's a need area for our community.
Absolutely.
And it's a great opportunity for these young kids. So I popped into my head that they should check out the Community Foundation, and I'm sure we're not the only ones offering scholarships like that.
Yeah.
Which are huge for these young adults.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I know the one at CAT hasn't even been, we have the money saved up, and we haven't had anyone send back the application. So that's why we're like, okay, more people need to really know about this, because there's money, there's support, and there's opportunity.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Our careers are set. We're kind of in our plan, but it's nice for more young adults to know these opportunities are out there that can help them, whether or not it's what you think you want to do. It helps you at least kickstart that process to finding where you really want to end up.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us today, and I know there's a lot of good little nuggets in here for everyone watching. And as we close, is there anything else you'd like to share, or?
I thank you for taking the time. I know you're running around with a busy schedule and just taking the time to put this together. I feel honored to be asked to participate and represent Mountain Hardware and our great staff. I'm excited for the community members, and I'm just want to reiterate, I'm really excited for what you guys are putting out there to the community and how you're just trying to get the word out and educate people on these different opportunities they have.
Yeah.
So thank you for all of that.
Oh, great. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your time, and thank you all for watching.